I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. If everyone will please stand, Mr. Caudell is going to lead us in a prayer as well as the pledge.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together tonight. Please guide us with wisdom and knowledge as we navigate the county's budget process. Please be with us as we travel to and from the meetings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all for coming. I don't see it on our agenda, but I think we should do a roll call. Yeah?
Sure. Frankel.
Here.
Caudell.
Here.
Hicks.
Here.
Kitts.
Here. Here.
McWhorter.
Here.
Scott.
Here. All right, thank you. Next item on our agenda we have is lit ordinance review. Because we had previously sent this down to the DLGF, and I think there were a couple modifications to make, and therefore those have now been made. I don't know if we actually have to do a formal vote on this. Mr. McWhorter,
Well, I guess my thought would be good for us to, I'll say, give our approval of the revisions.
Okay.
So that Angie could be prepared to publish that for our, my thought is we want to publish it in time for the September meeting for the public hearing and have the notice ready. If not, we can do it in October, but we ought to be published for September just in case. I think that means she needs to publish it no later than the 7th of September, so probably the 3rd, I'm guessing, is when it'll be out there.
Send it tomorrow.
Yeah. So I think we ought to do that. You know,
Okay.
and everybody should have a copy of the DLGF's notice to us at your table tonight. And Mr. Whitfield has made those corrections as recommended by the DLGF. They're all minor. I mean, one was a typo error and then 3 terminology errors, I guess I would say maybe.
right. And basically what this lit ordinance would actually have to do with is a 0.2 proposed lit rate, which would be for a correctional and rehabilitation facility. Again, though, this is just for us to review, and then we're still awaiting more information on exactly what that project will be before we would actually officially make any approval.
Right, yeah, this would not be an approval of the ordinance, it's just a matter of getting our approval for the rate to publish it at the right time.
Exactly.
So we're prepared for that.
Yeah, so I wanted to make that clear, otherwise might have some patrons coming forward really quickly, so.
Yeah, I might note too, just for information, as we did the calculations prior, the 0.2 it raised like 2.85 million. We just saw from the DLGF the estimate for what 2026 revenue will be on lit. Went like 4.9%. So actually that 0.2 would actually raise 2.9 something now.
Okay, a little bit more.
So just as an update there, yeah.
Okay, super, yeah, well, that's a positive update then. Well, I guess then, at this time, the chair will entertain a motion to approve these minor modifications that we have made, as well as then the opportunity to advertise this lit ordinance.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Mr. McWhorter. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Caudell. Any questions or comments by the council? Any questions or comments from the public regarding this? All right. Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And with this, I'm going to turn this over to Mr. McWhorter for the reading of the budgets and maybe kind of leading us through this process, since this is kind of my first experience with this, and we have a seasoned veteran on the council with a wealth of knowledge, I do believe, and I appreciate that.
No problem. I don't mind doing it all for you, so.
All right.
Just, I guess, some opening comments as we get into the budget process. As we published the notice, Form 3 on Gateway for the public, the intention there is to make sure that we've advertised a levy that's high enough that we can generate the maximum we can if we choose to as we go through the process, and to also put us in a position to establish tax rates that are at, we will be allowed to do if we decide to go that route as well. So our publications, they'll look high when we go through this and read them, but it's for a purpose. You can always lower, the DLGF, when they do your review of the budget, they can lower what you advertise if they can't increase it. So you always advertise high and get it adjusted down to where it belongs when it's all said and done, okay? And the levies that we'll talk about are on Form 3, and they were published, and we did that in time, to meet the deadline before this hearing started. The tax rates, you'll see those on, it's Form 4B. They aren't on the publication of the notice of Form 3, but they're on the Form 4B. It's in your packet there somewhere in your notebook, but that form shows the rates. Also, the general fund, the health fund, reassessment fund, and the Cume Bridge fund, those are the 4 funds that are combined that are capped by the growth quotient that the state gives us. And in the past, we've kind of prorated those based on a percentage, and I've continued that same percentage in mind as I've used it to publish the levies for those funds for 26 as well. So I've kind of used it on a prorated basis. We can always go lower on something, we can't increase it above what's advertised, okay? Also, just I'll note this, the CCD fund, if you'll recall it back in the spring, I'm not sure what month it was, April or May, the commissioners did pass an ordinance that would allow us to increase the Cume Capital Development Fund rate from 0.0175 to 0.0333. So we are allowed to do that, and the levy that's been advertised on Form 3 would accomplish that if we choose to do it. Okay, so just, it's there in case we want to and need to. And I'll go over that difference a little bit as we get into the reading. We touched on this last meeting, but the tax cap losses for us for 2026 have been projected by the DLGF to be $3,137,000. And that is a $1.2 million amount higher than what it was for 2025. So a 64.42% increase. Usually, at least history has been, the DLGF has given us an estimate that's proven to be high, usually a bit lower than that as it's gone through the process. We don't get the final number until the spring of 26. We'll see that final number. But hopefully their estimate is high this year as well. We just don't know that. And we'll use that estimate in our process, though, for the budgeting purposes. I have no information that would give me anything better to use at this point, so my thought is we'll use that. Okay. Local option income tax, just an update there. I mentioned it just briefly. When Angie and I were working on the budget and doing the miscellaneous revenues for 2026, I used an estimate of using our actual 2025 receipts, not counting the supplemental receipt that was given. So that's what I used as an estimate. Well, on the 14th of August, they just came out with the revised estimates for 2026. So in your paperwork at your desk tonight, Angie has updated the revenue schedule and the Form 4Bs for the general fund and the seated fund to incorporate those revisions. And it's good news, of course. We actually are projected to get about 4.4% more revenue in the general fund than we got in 25 on the regular distribution. So instead of about $8 million, it's about $8.35 million in the general fund. And the seated fund, instead of about $1.6 million, it's $1.683 million. So it's an increase in both funds, which obviously it's good news for us. And we have incorporated those in those updated pages you've got. And obviously those help our bottom line when it comes to where our operating balance could be projected to be. Now, I guess the last thing I want to note on the preliminary comments here is generally the council's had these as their overall budget goals, okay? One is we want to adopt a budget that protects the financial position and the stability of all of our funds. We want to over budget. We also want to adopt a budget that provides reasonable salaries, wages, and benefits for our employees as best we can. We're not always able to meet that, but that's one of our goals. And the last thing is we want to adopt a budget that reasonably addresses the various county needs in the various funds and minimizes the need for additional appropriations. Now, obviously, we always have some additional appropriations throughout the year, but we'd like to minimize those by having a good, reasonable budget passed up front. Okay. So those are my preliminary comments. Any questions on those at all? Okay. Now, what we're doing tonight is starting the budget hearing process. And of course, that is letting the public hear what we're going through as far as the budgeting potential. And we'll have, have it open for their comments as we go through the process as well. But the public has been notified of our Grant County budget public hearing by a Gateway publication. It's called Form 3 on Gateway. And there's a copy in your book of that form. And I'll just read through what we're required to publish on Form 3. The funds that we're required to publish, and we'll have budgets for a lot of funds, more than are covered in this notice, okay? These are the ones in just the notice that the DLGF requires us to have. General fund, reassessment fund, debt service fund, the highway fund, local road and street, Cume Bridge, health, cumulative capital development, and the economic development income tax seeded fund. Those are the ones that we'll be covering as far as the notice goes. And on this notice, we have to show our budget estimate. And again, we budget high on this publication because you can always lower it, but we can't go above it. We'll show the levy that we're advertising. And again, the levy is high. We know it's gonna be lower than that when it's all said and done. And we show also the current tax levy, and it shows a percentage of change in the estimated levy for the next year versus the current year's actual. Okay, so general fund, the budget that we've estimated is $35,822,504. The levy that we've advertised is $17,025,000. And the current levy is $16,216,538, which is about a 4.99% increase. Now, I'm going to give you my thought on what the budget number is going to be too. Don't hold me to this. This is my guess. You can kind of compare these. But general fund, instead of $17,025,000, I really expect it to be more like $16,764,000, okay, in that range, which would be a 3.38% increase over our current actual in the general fund. Okay, reassessment fund. Budget estimate $602,346. Advertised levy $725,000. Current actual levy is $581,706, and that's a 24.63% increase. Advertised levy for next year over current. And rather than $725,000, I really expect our levy to be $605,000 in that fund, which would be about a 4% increase over what this year's current is. Okay, debt service fund, budget estimate $690,998. The levy that's been advertised is $990,000. The current levy is $641,064, which that shows a 54.3% increase in levy, which obviously is not going to happen. I really think the current levy, or the levy for 2026, instead of $990,000, will be more like $685,000. That's a rough estimate in that range, which is an increase of about 6.9%. And that fund, all we do is take care of the debt that we have to pay for the following year and accumulate some funds for the next 6 months after that year as well. Okay, the highway fund, the estimate of the budget that's been advertised is $4,465,356, and there are no levy information because there's no property tax involved with that fund. Local road and street fund is $600,000 as an advertised budget. Again, there's no property tax information there, so nothing's shown in those columns. Cumulative bridge fund, budget estimate of $1.2 million, advertised maximum levy of $2.1 million, compared to the current year tax levy of $1,662,017, which shows a 26.35% increase. And I really expect the Cume Bridge fund levy to be more like $1,828,000, which is about a 10% increase. The reason that's an increase is I'm projecting our AV to go up. If AV goes up, its share of the money goes up as well in that fund. So that's why I used a 10% increase in AV as a guess. So it gets about a 10% increase in levy. Okay. Health fund, the budget estimate of $754,982. The projected or advertised levy, $613,500. Compared to the current levy of $504,541, which would go to calculates to a 21.6% increase. And I really project that fund to have a levy of more like $525,000 when it's all said and done, which is an increase of 4.1%. Again, that's just kind of a prorated share of those four funds levy. Then we have the Cumulative Capital Development Fund, budget estimate of $430,000. The estimated, the maximum levy that's been advertised is $1,185,000. Current levy is $519,380. So that's actually 128% increase, more than double. And I mentioned in my other comments that the commissioners have adopted a higher rate if we choose to use it. Currently, the rate's 0.0175, and that would be a levy of more like $551,000. The 0.0333 could get us to about $1,087,000, I think. So the range I see us getting in, if we keep the same 551,000, the max would be 1,087,000. So it'd go anywhere from 6% increase to 109% increase, depending on what we do with that rate. Okay. And the last fund is the Economic Development Income Tax, the seeded fund. The advertised budget is $1.9 million, and there's no property tax involved, so it's zeros across the table on that. And our total budget estimate for all funds combined of these funds that are advertised, $46,466,186. The levies that have been advertised are $22,638,500. And the current levy is $20,125,246. And if you would go with what I think the levies would be at the low end of CCD, it'd be a 4.14% increase, and the max more like a 6.81% increase. So that is the notice that we need to inform our public of tonight as we get into the process. And obviously, if there are any questions here, or if the public has any questions, we can address those as well. So. If there's any question or not, I cannot see anybody rushing to the podium at this point. So Mr. Kitts, I think that's, at this point, that's what I wanted to cover. I will note this, you guys have in your books also the Form 4B, Mark said it's right here, that's Angie's kind of recap of the funds in a mathematical table that we'll update as we go through the process and the budget hearings and come to the bottom line when we're all said and done. That's what it is. So right now, if you look at the four funds that are controlled by the growth levy factor, general health, reassessment, and Cume Bridge, it shows right now we would have an operating balance of $5.1 million at December 31/26. And the operating balances of the various funds going across them in the second page, you can look at those on your own if you want. Anyway, at this point, it shows us still in the black, but we have a lot of work to do to get through this. And keep this in mind, this only takes us to the end of 26. We've got 27 to deal with too as far as projected losses and things like that. We don't know about at this point what that's going to be. So we do want to protect our balance with 2027 looming over us as well. So, okay, those are the comments I had, I guess, to start us off. Yeah, I guess I will add this. I guess I'm not quite dead. As we go through the process on these 4 nights, tonight, tomorrow night, the 2 nights next week, and I think all department heads are used to this, and most people that are veterans of the council are as well. We listen to all the requests and any explanation that department heads want to give us tonight and next 3 nights. But we don't act on the personnel items unless it's a fund that's totally grant. Maybe we might do something. But normally personnel stuff, we won't touch at all unless it's mandated until we get through the preliminary processes and get into the September, October timeframe as we start looking at what we'll do with salaries. Okay, we hear what they want to say and give us their explanations and their requests, but we don't act on those. We act on the non-personnel items through this part of the process. Okay. Yep. And they're all used to that at this point too. Anyone that's been around. That's not new.
All right, and I think at this point, then we actually move to the next item on the agenda, and we're actually a little ahead of time for the surveyor and Cornerstone.
Yeah, you'll note this, a lot of times you get ahead of schedule, and a lot of times they ask the people to be here early just in case we are, so that is good if we're ahead.
Yeah.
I'm starting with a new person because I've never done this before either. So I don't know what you're anticipating me to do.
Basically, you just kind of give us an overview of what you're requesting in your budget, and if we have questions, we'll,
As far as what the request was filled out as,
yeah, we've got a copy of
my request.
your requests, and we got the history of what the funds have been.
Says I was at the last meeting and you talked about all the losses that the different districts are losing, the schools are losing, and then from what I heard you talking there a minute ago, you have an increase as far as what's going to be coming in.
Well, the color of the things there, that you can go, I guess, coincide or put the things together until we're ready to do that. But the projected losses, that is an amount that we're projected not to collect, that we would collect if it went to the tax caps.
Okay.
So in our case, $3.1 million, we're not going to get.
So is that figured into what you were saying earlier?
Yes.
With the increases?
That is a separate item. The increase I talked about was the local income tax monies that we're going to be projected to receive.
Okay.
It's a separate item. There's no loss involved with that. We're just getting we're getting more money in 26 than we got in 25.
Okay, so are we still talking there was talk of 2.8 million being less received in 26 than what was received for 25's budget? I mean, is something about the state or the federals passing a rule where the counties were going to get less money each year?
Well, we are expecting to get less property tax money in 2026 than we got in 25. As far as the losses, the way they changed the law, we expect the losses, in other words, the gross what we're supposed to get minus what we're projected to lose to get to a net, the net's going to be less than what we had received this year.
Okay, but still in the black, not in the red?
Our overall operating balance we have to still be in the black when we're all said and done.
Okay, with the projection of increases in salaries and such on these budgets?
Well,
Or is that not figured in salary-wise?
projections that have been asked or requests that have been given to us are included at this point.
Yeah, I'm just asking because I've never been through this before and I'd like to understand it more. I mean, I'll be in future ones, but
Yeah, the requests that we've been given at this point have been included in the total. So the bottom line figure at this point does include those requests.
those raises, okay.
Yes,
I-
that's correct.
Do I need to go by line on this?
You can, if you choose, you can do the general comments, you can go line by line. It's up to you.
I mean, from being a previous business owner and runner, budget is very impactful on the budget of the company. And we as employees, I might catch thunder for this throughout the building later, but we've received close to $10,000 or more since 21. And I don't feel real comfortable with the $5,000 increase that was projected on the paper that I turned in. I have a brand new employee that is learning things. I don't think that he needs a $5,000 raise. And I personally, in my position, I don't feel that I need a raise. I think that what I'm making is sufficient, and I've checked into the cost of living for Grant County, Indiana. They say it's about $37,000 to $40,000 as a living wage. So the increases in the salary, the only thing on the salary I would like to see is a bigger difference between the chief deputy and the first deputy, because the chief deputy is supposed to be able to run the office if I'm vacant, whereas the new first deputy isn't supposed to hold that much responsibility. I don't feel that our registered engineer needs a $1,000 increase. But when we get to the other line items with the supplies, gas and motors, I would like to have the supplies increased to $800. If no increases are made, I would like to take the $500 down of garage and motors and move it to supplies. Lower my gas and motors to $1,500 and increase it to $800 on supplies if so needed.
What are the age of the vehicles you operate?
It's a new vehicle.
It is a new vehicle. Okay, I was thinking it was new, but I wasn't sure. Okay.
And that's pretty well all my comments.
And you've covered your office pretty well. The key is what we usually try to do is what comments do you have as far as your salaries? That's a comment, you've given your comments there. And obviously we have some questions for you, but bottom line is you kind of give your overview of anything you want to discuss as part of your budget. We don't act on the personnel items tonight. We'll keep that as we get down toward the end of the process, see what kind of funds we have available that we want to use for salaries. But we do want to hear your input or what your thoughts are getting into that point.
I do have one other item, the perpetual, or the Cornerstone Fund. We have 50,000 in it.
Well, let's do that one. We'll deal with this one first, just a general fund piece.
Oh, okay, sorry.
We'll deal with that one first. We'll do the cornerstone after that.
Okay. While I'm still standing here, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the one comment I would have about the salaries was it's rare to hear someone say that they don't necessarily need any salary increase, so
Well,
I thank you for saying that.
if the county is, I mean, technically needing to save money, I mean, that's my input.
Yeah, thank you. If anyone else has any,
Well, he came to us just last meeting, I think, and asked for a transfer from garage and motor to supply. So it makes sense to increase that supply account probably to actually for testing. I'm willing, or I guess, ready to make a motion unless there are other questions, that we accept his request for categories 2, which is the supply area of his request,
good.
as he's presented it.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCord. Do we have a second regarding?
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lemon. We have a motion and a second. Anyone else have any questions or comments? If not, anything from the public? I don't know if we want to go to the public every time, but we can see. I don't know if anybody's going to jump up. Seeing no one coming forward then, all in favor of approving category 2 for supplies related to the surveyor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, you get to go to the Cornerstone Fund.
I do have intentions of using quite a bit of that money this year still. I haven't got to directing the money in that direction. We have a local surveyor that has come to me with, projectedly, they have cornerstones ready to turn in. They just haven't done them yet. And I have 4 other companies that are looking at me wanting opportunities to do cornerstones. So I see that fund being used
Tell me, because I'm ignorant, what is the Cornerstone Fund used for?
for relocating and perpetuating the cornerstones that set out to county and the sections and the quarter sections.
So it's exactly what it says, it's Cornerstone.
How many are there?
Oh my, I don't know.
It's a
Well,
bunch.
there's 716, it's on one of these papers.
That's one.
Yeah, we know it is.
716.
716, okay. Now, I have a question, because I can't recall. Could you tell us what the source of the revenue for this fund is?
$5 per
Document.
document, $5 per document through the recorder's office.
So,
We get part of their fund that she collects.
that's the only source that comes in, right?
That's to my belief.
I saw the cash balance is 367,000 plus right now, so, or as of June 30th. Okay. And this is a separate fund. It's not, for you guys, it's not the general fund, it's a separate fund, totally outside the general fund. So we can approve this fund in total, it's just other services and charges.
Yep.
So I would move that we approve the budget for the Surveyor Cornerstone Fund at $50,000 as presented,
All right, thank you, Mr.
for
McCord.
other services and charges.
All right. All right. Mr. Branco will second that motion. Do we have any questions or comments regarding the Cornerstone Fund with contractual services or other services and charges? Anything from the public? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Any questions you have now as far as what I
I
think?
started out with questions.
All right. Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda, we have the clerk. Hello.
Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, President Pitts. I know we are going to talk about our staff at this time, but I want to take a minute to brag on my staff. And I know that with the way things are going, there may not be raises, and that's okay. You know, my staff is, I did ask for a raise for my people, of course. But my group they're wonderful. They're loyal both to the clerk and to the county. We currently, I'm sure you've been made aware of that the fire inspector was at the courthouse the end of July. He showed interest in the attic space, which is where the clerk stores hundreds of thousands of documents. And I know some attorneys, perhaps you have been up there looking for things, and he is requesting that we get that space cleaned out, and my staff has been feverishly working on that. We have made great strides there. We've got boxes stacked up throughout my office, but they are also scanning, and we are going to be shredding some things that are obsolete. They're doing an amazing job, both for the clerk's office, for the courts, for the prosecutor, for the sheriff, and most importantly, for the community who come to our counter, who fax in requests, who call, who email. They're amazing, and I'm quite proud of my staff. So, but what you are able to do as far as raises or not do, my staff is going to do their job regardless, and they're happy to. I do have one request that I have mentioned, and I have brought this to you, I believe, in July. My one part-time individual that I have to come back every July and request money from the perpetuation fund to get me through the end of the year. I would like, when you do make your decision on raises or no, that you do give that individual the request that I have here, because otherwise I'll be back next July to talk to you again about that. So, okay, that's all I've got there. Now, where do you want to
Let me ask you a
begin?
question on that, if I could. On the perpetuation fund, for 1119 on the incentive fund, you got a part-time person, I can't talk, person in each of those funds that you need that taken care of, right?
Right. Well, I've got one individual, but he does, but they've got it listed in both those spaces, but it's mainly just the one individual.
Okay, so that's really one individual. So we
Correct.
just need to have that in one of the funds, or should it be, right now, there's appropriation in both of the funds.
Right,
And the total of them is more than, it's more than the 8,008.
But yeah, but we're not using that though. I think last time, we're just using a part of that. We didn't get the full 8,000. We just got like a portion of that. It was like cut in half, so we needed to
And I know we
request that.
approved that increase in the prior meeting we had for this
Yeah, we
year.
did.
But as I look at the two funds, the clerk incentive fund, it shows part-time of $4,960.25. And in the perpetuation fund, it shows $4,960.
Right.
So you're not using both of those funds?
No, we're not. No.
So you don't need to have that in the incentive fund, it sounds like.
We don't need to, but I would like to leave it there because you just never know what might come up. And my experience, once you give something away, you never get it back, or it's like pulling teeth to get it back. So even though it's not used, it's nice to have, to just have it there in case something crazy happens and it's needed, if that makes sense.
Okay, right now you have one person though, and the $8,008 kind of
Correct.
covers that. So
Correct.
and we're showing it in two spots, really, just using it in one.
Right, that is
All right.
very correct, yes, thank you. Okay, now where would you like to go from here?
Anything else on personnel you want to talk about? Is that it?
No, there,
Anybody have any questions
Thank
on
you.
personnel? I'd say just go through the general fund piece, start with supplies and
okay, I don't believe I've really, there are a few places that I've made some increases, but that has been because of, but supplies is not one of them. Yet I think, yes, my supplies, official records, and computer forms, those I have not changed. I think in the next section, the bank slips and night deposits did request just a little bit more there because increases that way. But otherwise, there's nothing much has changed on that.
it looks like the bank slips is up $75. That's the
Yeah.
only change in that.
Yeah.
What are your bank fees? What's included in that?
With the bank fees, it's mainly like the night deposit slips and things. Yeah, there's not a
What
great
bank are you
deal.
with?
We're with Star. Yes, we're with Star Bank.
I know a lot of banks will actually give those to you. I mean, and don't have fees. I don't know if that's an option or not.
And we've worked real well for years with Star. We have a good relationship with them and they're close for us to make our deposits. And yeah, so we've been very happy with Star. Anything else?
Anything else on general fund you want to mention to us all?
I don't believe so. Just that one increase is all I've got there.
So I guess the chair would entertain a motion regarding basically the categories for supplies for category 2, other services and charges category 3, and capital outlays, which is category 4. To approve that.
So moved, Mr. President.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Brinkle. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lemming. The motion is second. Does anybody have any questions regarding those items? Anybody from the public? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, I think we have the voters registration fund.
That's strictly personnel.
And that is personnel, so we'll move on. You are correct. Thank you. And then we have the general fund election board.
And here, everything is pretty much the same. The election board members, I did request a slight increase there, but there again, that's not a mountain to go to battle on. I've been perfectly fine, but we've just had some requests from the members. But otherwise, everything in that section is the same. Stepping down to the supplies, everything there is the same. Now, yeah, and then stepping down to other services and charges, I have a couple of increases there. My contractual services, Microvote did have an increase. They have not had an increase in years. And this year they did get with me and let me know that there was an increase there. So that is what is showing there. And then moving down to repair of equipment, there's a slight increase there. But otherwise, everything is the same.
And just back to supplies just for a second. The amounts you're asking for voting machine supplies and the absentee cards and envelopes, those are the same as what we did in 24. We didn't have it in 25. That's because it's a cyclical thing.
Correct,
Just-
correct.
Some of the
yeah.
guys who are new may not notice that. There's no election in 25 that have to have an amount in there. So.
Right. The way it goes, we just last year we had that presidential. This year, there's no election. Next year is what's called the midterm. And then the following year is the municipal. So, yeah, so that's why there
Right.
wasn't anything going on.
Yeah, the 0 and 25, they need something in 26. So.
Right.
Yeah, which makes sense. I guess the only question I have, and granted, this isn't up for us to adopt, but yet you still had supplies of 2,800 in 2025. even though there was no election.
Yeah, there's still some things that we tend to, and let me look
Okay.
over where that
Yeah,
is.
and I guess it's-
And, yeah, we spent some of it, not
You'll
all of
see
it, but
expenses are
yeah.
really low compared to
Yeah,
what the year before.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. But I
And there's some things, to be honest with you, and it will continue a little bit, things that we know we're gonna need next year, because once the election gets going, we've got this amount of money that we're able to spend. And if, because they're always changing things at the state level, the different forms that we may have extra of that can't be used because they've changed them. So we do, in this off year, kind of stock up on some things, like the various paper that we need, envelopes, and different things such as that, to just kind of get ahead of that. But
Makes sense.
All right.
I did have a question for on the, I'll say the part-time, I guess, the appropriations for, let's see, precinct, primary warden, general, voting machine mechanics, voting board mileage, those things are the same. What you're asking for in 26 as they were in 24. I guess my question is, you're asking for an increase in pay rates for the part-time positions, but no more dollars in appropriation. So you're expecting less hours to be worked if we grant that increase, or?
possibly because of this election, that presidential election just really gets you. So, and there's a lot more required. So yeah, so that, we shouldn't have as much going on there.
Okay. But I noticed that the rates were up, but the appropriation wasn't. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, if no one has any other questions then, Chair would entertain a motion regarding the election board for category 2 supplies as well as other services and charges, which is category 3. A motion to approve that.
I'll move to approve.
All right, thank you, Mr. McWhirter. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Lemon. We have a motion to approve, and we also have a second. Any other questions from the council? Any questions from anyone in the public? If not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. I think next we've got the clerk's perpetuation fund, 1119.
Yeah, not done really anything different there. Except for,
Part-time that Mr. McLeod had asked you about, so.
Just for information, you might tell us, what is the source of this fund's revenue?
is copies. Yeah, we get paid for $1 for, the copy. When people come to our office wanting copies, and then money goes into that perpetuation fund. So that's building every day. That
That's
builds.
strictly based on charges for copies made?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And you can tell by the volume of that perpetuation fund, the number of people that come to our office needing copies of various documents.
Yeah. Right now, the fund balance of June 30th is 287,000, so a lot of copies there.
Yeah, yeah. That's my staff again, helping people.
All right.
Is a dollar the average across the state or the region?
Pretty much. There are some areas, and I think maybe I have to double check with Kathy. I think the recorder's office gets paid a little bit more for your certified copies.
Yeah, certified copies are $5 and a regular copy is $1 a page.
But with the Clerks Association, they haven't gone there to get that $5. I've been after them about it, but they haven't. But it's pretty much they try to keep across the state at the same. So yeah.
Chair will entertain a motion regarding the clerk's perpetuation fund for supplies, which is category 2, as well as capital outlays, which is category 4.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cadell. Motion by Mr. Cadell, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brinkle. Motion and second. Anyone else have any further questions? Anyone from the public? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. I think that last fund that you have is, again, related to salaries. So personnel. Yep. All right. Thank you for coming this evening.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right.
Have a good evening.
You too. Next on our agenda, we have the assessor.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you want me to go line by line or just, really I only have one change other than salaries on all three of my accounts. So you tell me which one you want to go through first.
So they're talking about salaries first, right?
Yep, sounds good.
That.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I have printed a letter. Oh, here. I think this is enough for all of you guys. So I listed all the people I wanted raises for, and about a part-time position. I had 3 people on FMLA this year. Never has happened before, but it would been nice to have a part-time position if needed, like, you know, temporary. Because we were short-staffed all summer long. It was a little tough, but we got our stuff done. But, you know, if that happens again on a bigger year, I don't know what we'll do.
That's the line you have in the reassessment fund?
Correct.
Is that right? 19,240?
Yes, for the part-time, if needed, if needed.
And what part-time rate are you asking?
We went to,
It says 2026 requested rate, there's no amount there, and it shows it 2025.
we didn't come up with a rate, it was just a salary.
Yeah, it was just as needed, we didn't know how to go about it.
Yeah, I didn't really know what to do on that, because I was asking for a position we may never use.
Okay. So you'd have to come back to us, if we gave an appropriation, you have to come back to us with a rate request or something.
I can do that.
If we, I'm not saying we're gonna do that yet.
Yes,
We
no,
didn't, so.
that's fine. Guess I should have asked a little bit more questions on that. Yep, but if we are doing the 124, pretty much everything's the same with the exception of the raises and anything that has to do with the raises, is dues and subscriptions, and that's because we were a little shy with the 650, so we went to 700. I think we probably had to use more too. We did, we had to add more to this to make it, I think it's like $40. So we just rounded it, I think it was 690 is what we ended up needing.
What account are you talking about?
Dues and subscriptions, because we were on the 124, so I just thought that was the only other change was the 124. Was the dues and subscriptions.
I don't think our numbers are matching yours.
You're talking 1224, aren't you? Yeah, you're talking.
Yeah, sorry, 1224,
He's
what
talking
did I say?
reassessment, but let's go back to the general fund.
Okay.
Let's start with general.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you just asked about it, so that's why I started with that one, because that's where the fund was, or the part-time fund was.
Yeah, we were
So,
talking,
okay.
I asked because I was talking salaries, that's why I asked about that.
All right. No changes on the general fund, everything's the same, other than the salaries, of course, and we're not talking about them right now. My employees do work really hard and do a good job.
So I noticed you didn't do a uniform raise request for them, it was varied person to person, right? Okay.
Yeah, and not everybody got one.
Okay, I had a few that was the same, I had some harvest the same.
Yep.
So no increase?
Right.
Okay, all right.
Well, I was a little worried about our raises this year, so.
We haven't decided that.
I know, that's, and I know it's, it usually does all the way around anyway, so.
So do you have an opening, a vacancy?
Not anymore, we hired since this was printed. It's Katie Kuykendall is now,
The level 3 status, you're asking for money on your paper, but on our county assessment, looking for salaries, it has a number for that already. Are you aware of that?
the what one?
I didn't hear what you said.
County assessor reassessment salary comparison, there's a box down there that has a number for each level you reach, they attain a certain amount.
Yes, we're having more people doing level 3. Level 1, each one is $1,000, and most people only stopped at 2. So we've got more people doing level 3, which is another $1,000.
There's a pink page in your packet that we did, John Mansh's put together that kind of summarizes. Doesn't agree? Yeah. I didn't see that, Dave. I know there's this pink sheet does a good job of recapping for staff's pay,
Yeah, I like that
25 and
sheet.
26.
It makes
Hopefully
it
it
nice
agrees with
when-
this. I haven't looked at this yet.
Yeah.
We'll look at that later, I guess.
Well, that was the people I had for raises. Yeah.
Schedule shows the certification.
So this person that you've got on the white paper has already received the certification.
Correct, she's got, one of them's got the level 3, yep. We have 2 more that's very close. Got 2 that's within 2, because the level 3 takes 5 classes and tests. And I have 2 that has 3. But pretty much everything's the same as far as everything else other than salaries on the general fund.
You ready for a motion on the general fund?
Yes, I think so on the general fund for the assessor. Yep.
The general fund assessor, so it's Department 0008, for supplies, category 2, and services and charges, category 3, I would move that we approve those as presented.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCourt. Do we have a second to that motion?
Second.
All right, thank you, Mr. Scott. Motion and a second. Any comments from members of the council? Anything from members of the public? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
You want to do the sales disclosure or the reassessment fund?
Sales disclosure, I think that's all salaries.
Yep, it's all salaries, yep.
Let me ask about the revenue source for that fund. What's the money come from that goes in there?
Sales disclosures, for every $20 sales disclosure, we get $10 that goes to us, $10 goes to the state.
Okay, I guess explain, what's the sales disclosure? What is that?
The sales disclosure is a form that accompanies any deed that comes through that has money involved. So like if you sell your house, so you're gonna have to fill out.
So real estate transactions
Correct,
is what it
that's-
comes through.
Correct, it's our #1 tool for assessing, because that's
So
what.
you
they
get
just-
a share of the fee and the state gets a share.
Correct, correct. And it raised a year ago in July from 10 to 20,
It's $20 per,
yeah, per disclosure.
I'm sure I've heard that in the past, but it's been a while since I heard it again, so.
That might be something too, where, you know, as we lose funding, perhaps tell the state they don't need their $10 and we'll just keep
keep
it
it
20.
Sounds good.
Well, this fund doesn't have as much in it, 61,000 in there at this point. So like some of the funds we've seen have a higher balance.
Well, it does, we have, I think, about 1,300 disclosures a year.
Is that what it is,
I think so.
roughly? Okay.
I could be off on that. I did not look at it.
That's interesting. So roughly that many transactions in a
No,
year.
that's not correct, because we usually have about 7,000 in each. So whatever that is times 20. So that's,
7,000 in each meeting.
yeah, in each account, for one for us, one for the state.
So 7,000 transactions.
At least, yes, per year. I wish I would have printed that off. I have the receipts for every year.
That's all right. So there's nothing due on that fund at this time?
No. No. I guess the next one's reassessment fund,
Yep.
24.
Yep, 1224. And the only change I made was that dues and subscriptions, I had to take away from one to add to that. Other than the salaries, of course.
Yeah, you added $50, that's what it was, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we needed 40, so I was a little afraid that another $10 might be needed next year. Any questions on any of them?
I guess at this time, the chair would entertain a motion regarding reassessment fund 1224 with the supplies in category 2 as well as other services and charges in category 3 and capital outlays in category 4.
So moved.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCord.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Scott. Anyone else have any questions regarding this?
Any questions on what we do?
I guess maybe it's because I'm so familiar, that's why I'm not gonna ask any questions.
Well, a lot of people know what we do.
Yeah,
Not the best liked people in the county, but.
I was gonna say, that might be it too. People might be a little upset when they come to see you, perhaps.
One of the three key pieces, the assessor's office, the treasurer's office, the auditor's office, and the property tax setup. So
Yes, yes.
one of the three keys.
Yep, you betcha.
Have any questions from the public regarding that?
I'm gonna mention that popularity, I didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, if not, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have the coroner.
The coroner.
Oh, yeah,
Well, he's not here tonight.
that was not. Oh, maybe you. Oh. Oh, okay.
I'm hungry.
Hi, Dean Small, Deputy Coroner.
All right.
Staff.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
And according to the paperwork, nothing has changed since last year. Everything remains the same.
Yeah, no, so even the salary lines are all the same.
So, any questions?
I don't have any with everything staying the same, I guess. Yeah. At this time, the chair would entertain a motion regarding the general fund for the coroner for supplies in category 2 as well as other services and charges in category 3 and capital outlays in category 4.
So moved, Mr. President.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brinkle.
Second.
Second by Mr. Scott. Thank you. Do we have any questions? Any questions from the public? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Kept it simple. Next, we have the recorder.
Thank you.
Sorry, I may not be speaking clearly.
Well, I was in the back, so. And my stomach was growling, so that's probably why I couldn't hear you.
I just figured you were anxious, ready to go.
Oh, that too.
Does that mean we should make everybody come to the front because perhaps they can't hear in the back? Everybody come- No, I'm not gonna do
It's just,
that. I like the classroom.
I guess I'll start with salaries. I know with the situation, so it's not like we're counting on it, but I hated not to ask for one for my girls. So I just did a 3% increase. So either way, if anything, we'd be happy. If not, we understand.
Thank you.
And before we start on my perpetuation fund,
Well, do we want to go ahead and approve this, the general fund, and then move to that?
the only thing the general fund I have on there besides our salaries is postage stamps.
Right.
You got $50 on there.
I know.
We gotta handle that, we gotta trust
Well, the postage is used for, whenever we get a mechanic's lien, it has to be mailed out that day. And that's why we have stamps, and I hardly ever use it, so you can see we don't have a lot of it going on. So it's just there, yeah. I think I used it 1 year. So we still have a few left, but
Stamps going up, $50 going
I know, it's not,
You're not going to get 100 for that. No. I think it's $72.
Maybe it's a special rate, right?
Yeah,
I just get half,
yeah.
because we don't use them that often, but that's all that is for.
I'll move for approval of that.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCord. You're going to approve general fund for the recorder. other
$50,
services
yeah.
and charges, category 3.
Yep, that's it, thank you.
All right, and a second by Mr. Lemming. Any questions regarding that? Already cost ourselves money and time by talking about it. All right. Yeah. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. Well, the only question I'd have, and it's really not even budget related, but you have some of those about those papers about people, recording things on your house or on your, against.
Property fraud.
Yeah, property fraud.
Very good idea to sign up for it.
And so that mechanics lien, I guess, would be something then that people would be aware of, which it could be fraud that somebody's doing that would do that, or no?
Well, a mechanic's lien, it's not really considered a lien until they go to the court to file against somebody. So when they come to my office, it's like they're intending to put a mechanic's lien on you because I did some construction work at Jim McCord's house and he's not paying me, so I'm gonna put a lien on his house till I get my money.
Right.
And usually when that happens, it scares people into paying them. So then they just release it, then they really don't have to go to court. But I always tell them, you really did this work for somebody, you better have the documentation to show it when you go to court. Or, you gotta prove it, that you did it, with an agreement that you made or all your bills from your materials and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's different than the property fraud.
yeah, the property fraud is if, someone forges a deed and transfers your house to their name.
And you're saying you have some kind of document in your office?
We have you sign up for it, and what it does is anytime anything is recorded in your name, you're gonna get notified. And then they call us and we tell them what it is, because maybe there's another Jim McCord in Grant County and it wasn't even your property. And it's a free service that we offer. It's set up through our software company. So they get flagged anytime anybody that signed up does it, they get flagged and they notify them either email, phone call, or text.
Sounds like there's probably no reason not to sign up.
Exactly, it's a no-brainer, so I suggest all of
sign me
you
up, please.
sign up. I will.
Does that work with corporations as well?
In your business name, and we would do like your wife, her name, and your name. And if you have documents under James, we do James. If you have some maybe under Jim, if you own a lot of property, we do Jim. We just put it in every way we can, and it doesn't go by your address, it just goes by your name, any document.
Yeah, I need to come in and see you.
Yes, you do.
Well, thank you. It's kind of a
I
sidebar.
didn't realize that was a service that was there.
Yeah, it's free.
Do you have to come in or can you do it online?
You can call me, or I have these flyers, which are some out there on the counter, and you can scan the little code, what's it called?
QR code.
Yes, the QR code, and you can get online and do it, or just go to property fraud and pick your state and your county and do it yourself. Or we do a lot of them over the phone too. And I put those in tax statements last year, like just a little flyer, and we get a bunch of calls when I do that.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, so we do some good things. Just saying.
All right. Next, we got the perpetuation fund.
Yes, and before I get started on that, because my perpetuation fund pays for everything in my office except salaries. That's the only thing, and the postage stamps.
$50.
That the general fund pays. So my perpetuation is made from all the fees I collect for every document recorded. You know, all documents are basically $25 except a mortgage is $55. So that, all those fees get divvied up, and I got you guys a handout for the last 5 years of where all my fees went. And like, there's a big chunk that goes to the general fund, Raymond's fund, and then the elected officials training fund. So just for some information for you.
Does it have a balance,
What?
current balance?
My perpetuation fund? Yeah, but this is like the past 5 years of what all my fees, where they go and how much, it's not just for me to use.
So that's the balance as of 8/15, or is that how much you collected?
That at the bottom, that's for 2020. That was how much was collected.
Angie's getting us the balance here. She's looking at
Yeah, but she has a balance that I
Oh.
have this year.
Oh, okay.
The June 30th balance was 378,679. 300,000.
378,000.
Because I've been using it, a lot of it, for getting digitized documents. So when I started, they were digitized back to 1994, and now we're back to 1900. They're just not, like the 1900 to 1950 are not exactly ready. They're cleaning them up after they came in and scanned them all. And then, so we've almost done 100 years worth of digitizing. So that, and that's expensive to do, so that's where a lot of money goes. Anywho, there's your little lesson on my office. So I think everything is kind of the same.
I saw 2 increases, contractual services and travel and conference, $500 each.
Contractual services
That was
is-
after we had some additional appropriations this year, yeah. Like the travel and conference had an additional $1,500.
Dues are up $75.
Yeah, the dues are based on my salary, and then it's, I think it's 1% of my salary, then I have to pay 40 or 50 bucks per employee. So when my salary goes up, the dues go up for the Recorders Association. And contractual services, that's, I have these 2 microfilm readers that they get service, it's their service every year, and they had an increase.
If you get everything digitized though, would those be going away?
I'm hoping, because I have to pay for maintenance on them every
Right.
year, and
Right. Right now, if somebody's looking at those, then now they're gonna be going back pre-1900
yeah.
to look at those once you get all those.
Well, on the microfilm, we only went back to 67. And some people still come in and use them that don't, have access to online.
Oh, okay.
And then anything older than that, they get in the books.
Anyone else have any questions regarding the clerk's perpetuation fund? Recorder's perpetuation fund, excuse me. Thank you. You were quicker than me on that one. I was just checking to see if you were paying attention to what I was saying.
I was.
And you would. If not, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the supplies in the category 2, the other services and charges in category 3, as well as the capital outlays in the category 4. Thank you, Mr. Lemon.
Second.
Second by Mr. Caudill. Thank you very much. The motion is second. Any other questions? Anything from the public? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you. I expect to see y'all in my office getting signed up.
Yes, thank you for the lesson.
Don't forget that.
I'll call remind you.
Yeah. All right. Well, on our agenda, we actually have for a break.
We don't need no umbrella. Melissa's here.
All right. Well, you guys want to push through? We'll just push through. Finish early.
Finish it up.
Yep. All right. Well, here we go. Yeah. Come on up. Or actually, the price is right. Come on down.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have several different budgets.
Yes.
I guess the first one that I believe that we're on is the General Fund Correctional Services.
General fund.
So to do my due diligence, one thing I want to draw to your attention is in the 26 notes section, it indicates that Brooklyn salary is being reimbursed by Radiant Health. We received notice yesterday that effective October 1st of this year, they will no longer be receiving this reimbursement. So this was originally part of a collaborative effort between Grant County and Radiant Health to help us start a mental health court, where Radiant received funding through SAMHSA grant. And it's my understanding that Radiant has since ended that particular grant, and they've continued to provide the reimbursement for a season, but they have had some changes in their federal and state funding, and they had to redistribute funds and will no longer be providing this reimbursement. So I wanted to make you aware of that.
Which one is it on here? I want to make sure I look at the right.
It should be,
Yeah, I think it's kind of highlighted.
Is it here the one that's highlighted that we're talking about?
yours looks different.
Brooklyn
than mine.
Rise.
Yes, yours looks different than mine, yes.
Okay.
So a couple of things. This is not a new position. This is not a vacant position. It's a position that's already within our salary ordinance and paid out of the general fund. It's simply no longer going to receive that reimbursement for Radiant after September 30th of this year.
So we've been paying for it, they just give us money to reimburse us for it.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
So a couple things I also want to point out is that we've been receiving a state grant that pays for a small portion of the salary and benefits, and then all of the health insurance expenses for that position. So we've already applied for the state grant for 26. We've received notice that we will be receiving an award. The specific award categories have not been sent to us yet, so we don't know how much is going to be applied to the salary and benefits, but those are two items that we include in that grant application. And we're committed to continuing to apply for funding in those two items in the future to assist in saving that county some dollars there. This position is,
I'm just going to ask, what was the applied amount for that grant? Do you know?
we requested the entire salary.
Okay, super.
And all of the benefits. Now, the state is also experiencing funding issues too as well, but we swung big for it.
Yep.
Asked for the entire position, just because we felt like we probably needed to try shifting things to us as soon as possible. This position is also a supervisor who's taken on some court alcohol and drug cases to assist in case allocation, adjustments that we continue to make as we get increasing caseloads. And this individual also facilitates an in-house group for justice-involved women who have a history of trauma. So you can imagine how delicate that particular in-house group is as well. But once we receive the 26 award, we'll send that information in the budget to the auditor's office like usual. And then one thing that I wanted to point out when we look at comparing the 25 adopted budget from the general fund to the 26 requested budget, we're actually requesting $10,234 less this year for 26 than we did this year. And then we think about, when I was here in July, asking about a vacancy to be filled, I mentioned that we are projected to have over $92,000 in savings in '25. That will be reverting back to the general fund at the end of the year. That amount will also increase likely as we go through the hiring process because nobody's being paid out. So I wanted to make you aware of those things as we kind of step here through these salaries. And then obviously if the county chooses to do raises for non-mandated staff, I would just request that our non-mandated staff also receive those increases as well, whatever you see fit.
Listen, just so we are aware of this for sure, on the salary schedule we have, what positions are not the mandated? I'm thinking probably office manager and the secretary positions.
Yes.
Those are the non-mandated.
So we have an office manager, and then we have 3 clerical, and then we have one that's paid out of the opioid settlement funds that we can talk to.
Is the field officer?
And the field officer is non-mandated.
Okay, those are non-mandated. I just want to make sure we get those noted. Okay.
And historically, you've asked about what was the mandated raise for the year for the probation officer salary schedule, and that was 0.
I assume, looking at this, it must have been 0.
So they get the years of service if they move into a certain bracket,
Right.
but the state was sensitive to the fact of what's happening locally, and so they chose to do 0% raises for our mandated staff.
Right.
And the only other item here on this particular budget is your analysis supplies. You can see that we have it allocated. I looked back, and the last time we actually used these funds was in 2019. We have a large amount of grant funding that we pursue to, we use this as a payer of last resort. We can't predict how many people we're gonna get on supervision. This is the same amount that has been requested year after year. Our commitment is to pursue grant funding, use our user fees, and use this as a last resort. And I think you'll see in the other budgets where we're putting in line items for drug screens multiple times. I think we have about 4 grants that also include line items for drug screens as well.
Probably entertain a motion regarding the supplies for the general fund, which I guess would be like an account 2.
Yeah, category 2.
Category 2.
I'll move that we approve that. It's one of those we could probably argue about diminishing maybe, but I'll go ahead and keep it to be a cushion for us at some point if we need to. I'll move that we approve it as presented.
All right, thank you, Mr. McWhorter. Do we have a second? Second. Thank you, Mr. Scott. A motion to approve in a second. Anybody have any questions? Anyone from the public? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign.
I appreciate that being last.
Motion carries.
That's a good thing for us. I mean, we have other grant funds that'll cover it, that helps us out.
Next I have on there is supplemental juvenile probation services fund.
So this is the same request that we had in '25.
Could you tell us what the source of revenue is for this one?
These would be your juvenile probation user fees.
User fees. I thought that was the case, but I wanted to hear it repeat.
It's probably our lowest generating fund.
That would be positive if I believe this to be true, that would mean that we don't have very many juvenile offenders. But
positive thinking.
That is great. I love that idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes they don't pay.
Yeah, okay. Right on. All right.
Most times.
I guess at this time, the chair would entertain a motion regarding the supplemental juvenile probation services in the category 3 for other services and charges. All right, thank you, Mr. Brinkle.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lemming. Any questions, further discussion? Anything from the public? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. And those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Opioid restriction fund, we'll go right past that unless you had something.
I'm going to have Melissa tell us what the source of revenue is for that fund.
All right.
The opioid
Yes.
restricted funds, that comes from the opioid settlement funds.
Okay.
These funds are happening consecutively over a period of, I want to say 18 years.
So we are getting some revenue each year. I remember we got some sort of about 5 years ago or something like
Yeah,
that.
and it's increasing every year.
Well, it's going up now.
Mhm.
I thought it'd be going down. It's going up.
Pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the first round that we based all of this off of was just the first round of funding. The county opted in for a second round, which was the pharmacies, which brought a lot more additional monies coming in as well. Angie and I did the report today and kind of looked at some of those, the balances and things like that. And what's changed from our first disbursement to what we're currently getting now, and it's significant. At least this year it was. We didn't see a clear pattern of when they make the deposits, but they just kind of happen. It's not like a timed quarterly, but there's a good healthy balance there.
I see we have 2 positions on the schedule. Are either one of those mandated salaries?
One is,
Okay.
so this is, one of them is a drug court probation officer. So this was allowed, so drug court had a grant, a federal grant back in 2020 that allowed them to expand capacity. And then the committee and the commissioners agreed with keeping that position after the grant expired, in this fashion, relieve the pressure off of the county to pay for that position, and it's gonna last for several years.
But the amount shown for 26 requests is mandated by the state for that one,
Well, these are 2 salaries.
right?
One is a mandated salary, and the other one is the treatment coordinator that I mentioned is a non-mandated salary.
But the top one is mandated. That amount is, we have to pay that top amount
It's split between 2. So,
between 2.
people, 2 staff,
Okay, I mean, there's one that says drug court PO, and it shows 48,331.
correct?
That is a mandated amount.
Yes.
48,331.
Okay, yes. Your paper looks
Okay.
different than mine.
Okay, all right, okay.
I'm like,
The treatment coordinator is not a mandated.
correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
No, wait a minute.
It's under the opioid restricted funds.
So why would his be mandated for an increase and the rest of the POs not be?
Years of service. This one jumps to 2 years of service, so the salary schedule jumps. The first 0 years, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, once you hit 4 years, it goes into a block for 5 years. And
Those
so-
are mandated. The original net schedule, those are mandated, just like.
They are mandated, but I don't know, I just wanted to see if there were increases for the request.
Because there was a spot in the bottom box that said eliminated.
I thought I heard you say that there was no mandated, the state did not mandate raises this year.
They did not do a cost, yes, the cost of living, but they do the years of service according to the salary schedule. So,
Okay.
So I wouldn't consider it a raise, they're just moving up on the schedule, I guess.
yes, yeah.
Years of service.
Next, I think we have adult probation administrative fund. I don't know if anybody had any questions regarding those salaries or anything there.
I don't know if you guys have the notes like I have, but this salary, one of them includes a $1,500 stipend that we put in for to help with our in-house groups coordination. That's been a significant increase in the services that we're providing, and it takes a lot of coordination to make sure that those things are still running and gathering data, measuring effectiveness and things like that. So that's one that's coming out of this fund, which is out of our probation user fees. And then we added in a medical because the person that formerly held this position was retired military, didn't need insurance. So we put it back in the event that we see any changes. And these are, again, out of the probation user fees.
Right. So when was Josh's hire date?
Josh?
Garcia.
You would have.
Because on here it says November 2026.
26. You haven't been hired yet.
No, he's been with us for quite some time.
PO schedule says 16.
11/7/16.
11/7/16, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we're on to the Alcohol and Drug Services Fund.
This one is the same request as 25.
Yeah, I'll ask you the revenue source for this fund as well.
Yeah, so we have the Port Alcohol and Drug Program, so it's those fees that are generated from the clients who are ordered into that program. We call it CCP, but it's a Port Alcohol and Drug Program.
So user fees, yeah.
Mm-hmm, correct.
Without anyone having additional questions, I guess the Chair would entertain a motion regarding supplies in Category 2, other services and charges in Category 3, and capital outlays in Category 4.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Scott.
Second.
Second, thank you by Mr. Lewing. Anyone have any other questions? Anyone from the public? Yes, sir.
Yes, I do have a question regarding the opioid fund.
Okay.
Just curious, is there unrestricted fund as well?
We don't have it.
Okay. And then is there a committee that establishes what funds?
Yes.
And then who comprises that committee?
We have a list. So Angie and I worked through that today about the list, and there's a spot for somebody from the council and also commissioners as well.
Because I believe I've never seen the committee meet. So
It hasn't met for several months. There's not been any movement in terms of we weren't sure what the second round was going to look like, and to meet for uncertainty didn't seem to make sense. So we certainly we talked about having a meeting and having, I think, Chuck, you were slated as the council the last time we met, and so, so it's been a while.
Thank you.
Perfect.
All right. And back on the Alcohol and Drug Services Fund, I think we have a motion by Mr. Scott for approval and a second by Mr. Lemming. And I believe we're at the vote point, so all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, same sign. Thank you. All right. Next, we have Veterans Treatment Court Fund 4906.
This is the same request as 25 as well.
Yeah, this is strictly supplies and charges. We can actually finalize this one if we choose. No salary involved.
Does this come from user fees?
From Veterans Court user fees, yes.
Who pays those user fees? Those the people who are in Veterans Court pay those fees?
Yeah, so if they're ordered into Veterans Court, there are user fees assigned for them to pay, and those actually have to be paid prior to graduation. So we collect those a little bit differently. All of our problem-solving courts have to collect fees before graduation.
Drug court the same way?
Correct.
time, the chair would entertain a motion regarding the Veterans Treatment Court Fund 4906, which only consists of the categories of supplies in Category 2 and other services and charges, Category 3.
I move to approve the entire fund as presented.
All right, thank you, Mr. McCourt.
Second.
Second by Mr. Scott. Anyone have any questions? Anyone from the public? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same. Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have drug court fund.
You have a pretrial grant fund in there?
Yeah, I missed it. Drug court
That's
fund.
next.
We just did drug court.
We just did Veterans Court.
Yeah, we did veterans.
Really? Gosh, and I made the motion. Yeah, I had it down as drug court. I went a page too far, my fault.
Yeah, but we can still approve the whole thing.
Yeah, I still approve.
So you were correct on that.
I still approve.
Yeah, all right. It looks like in this, no change as well.
Correct. Yes, for the drug court fund, it's the same request as 2025.
And again, that's funded through user fees.
Sure, I'll do it again. I'll make a motion.
All right. Thank you, Mr. McCord. Thank you, Mr.
You know,
Lemon.
it's funny because when she was talking about user fees being there and she mentioned Veterans Court, I'm thinking, that's kind of odd, it's drug court. That makes sense.
All right. Have any questions regarding the drug court fund? Anyone from the public regarding the drug court fund? Hearing none. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you. And next, we have the pretrial grants or the probation fund 9145.
So we have already applied for this grant. We have received, again, notification that we will be receiving it. We don't have the budget in terms of how those items shake out. Those consist heavily on salaries. Historically, we have been funded at 100% for the 3 staff that are assigned to pretrial services. The difference comes out of the benefits package. And once they started making that change, the commissioners have picked up the deficit in the funding in the benefits portion of it. Then in spring, when the grant awards were open, I presented with the commissioners. They authorized us to go ahead and applying for that particular grant and agreed to, if we get funded in the same way where there's a deficit in the benefits portion, that would come out of their budget as well. This year, the deficit was much smaller than the years past, so they gave more on benefits than they have in the past. So we look forward to seeing what this year brings, but historically, those cover the salaries and a big chunk of the benefits theirs. Once we get the budget and the award, send that on also to the auditor's office. I'll let the commissioners know what that deficit may look like, just so we're all on the same page.
Okay, I have a question on the schedule, maybe it's an Angie question. And looking at the pretrial grant salary schedule, it's actually Shelley Sapp's line. It shows a $1,500 amount in 2025. I don't see it on.
That was in the grant application that did not get funded, so she is not receiving that.
Okay, that did not, say it wasn't on the salary schedule, it shows the composite on here. So that is not part of it, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and without that, that agrees with the budget total line, so that makes sense. And we're not looking for that to be in 26 as well.
Not likely.
Okay, all right, okay. But I saw that on this schedule, but didn't agree with the rest of them, so I wondered about that. Okay.
There's a lot of moving parts, and so we were looking at trying to figure out how do we compensate for the invoices and the moving parts that happen with grant management. They didn't fund that portion, so we carried on.
Okay.
All right, well, I think at this time the chair would entertain a motion regarding the pretrial grant fund 9145 in category 3.
So moved.
All right, motion to approve by Mr. Brinkle. We have a second.
Should we not approve anything at this time since the budget hasn't been approved for her yet?
Generally what I'll do is I'll come back once we get the award and present it for you again. So that way you'll have an accurate number of what we actually got awarded.
Do you think that there's a good chance it won't be this number? Is that what you're thinking?
I think there's a lot of moving parts at the state and we haven't received anything yet. And so.
So you prefer to do nothing with this one then?
I think it could look different.
Okay. All right.
I can bring that back as soon as we
All right.
get it.
Mr. Brinkle rescinds his motion. All right.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. For the heads up on that. I believe that is everything, and we will recess until tomorrow evening at 6 p.m.